What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday, October 19th. All right. Good day in the market. Was higher today. Yesterday, some of you got really excited. I'll use that word, upset, that I said the correction was over, and I'm going to get into that. But first, let me just tell you that the Atlanta Fed, in their GDP Now forecast, they have this, and you could go online and get that forecast if you go to the St. Louis Fred database, F-R-E-D database, and if you just type in there in the search GDP Now, the Atlanta Fed comes out with these, forward-looking forecasts, and then they revise them periodically. And I mentioned this maybe a couple of weeks ago. I said that it was down, the Q3 third quarter GDP forecast was now down to 1.3%. And I said, hey, we were growing at 6.5% in the second quarter, and the fiscal flows have slowed down significantly. And I said in the fourth quarter we can have zero or even negative growth. And now the Atlanta Fed, the most recent revision that they just did for third quarter, is 0.5% economic growth. So basically what I was saying, but it's for the third quarter. Now I have a little bit of an updated, of a revised outlook myself, okay? Because I said in the fourth quarter, I said, well, the fourth quarter wasn't even factoring in. I'm saying the third quarter really didn't even factor in the slowdown, the full slowdown in the fiscal flows. And I said we're going to have flat, maybe even a negative print for the fourth quarter. Now I am revising my forecast, my outlook, because of the following conditions which have changed. And by the way, for those of you who yesterday got so pissed off and going crazy saying that, all my forecasts are wrong and this and that, look, go back. In September, I said the flows were slowing down and the market's going to go down. The market peaked out in September, and then we had the biggest correction in 17 months. Okay? Now, I didn't say at the exact bottom that the correction was over, but I said it yesterday, and we're going higher. But I did say in late August and early September, if you go back and if you watch my videos, I said the fiscal flows are significantly slowing down and the market is going to go down. And it went down. All right? So I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you're listening to. If you're so fucking stupid that you sold at the bottom and then you're saying that's my fault, no, that's your fault because you're an idiot. All right, let me get off of that now. Look, here's my revision, and here's the reason for my revision. I think because they raised the debt ceiling, we got that $480 billion increase that will take us through, and I was talking about this yesterday, it's going to take us through December 3rd. We should see some substantial reserve drain in the banking system, okay? Remember, Treasury sales, that's not borrowing, that's a reserve drain. All right? So, if we see that reserve drain, I predict we are going to see a pretty sizable uptick in bank credit and loans. All right? Now, there's two kinds of money. There's high-powered money. That's the government's money. I was talking about this yesterday. That's the check you get. That's your Social Security check, or that is a stimulus check, or that's a payment by the government to some defense contractor, a vendor or something. That's money you get to keep without an offsetting liability. That's good money, okay? The other money, what we call money, is bank credit. Okay? Bank creates a credit in your account, in your checking account. Great, you have more money, but at the same time, you have an offsetting liability. You have that debt, you have that loan, you have to pay it back with interest, which goes to the bank. Now, the economy can run on bank credit for a good period of time, depending on the level of indebtedness of, households. And right now, the level of indebtedness, well, let me put it this way. The debt service burden, in other words, how much it takes to service your debt every month, your mortgage payment, your car payment, your insurance payments, your rental payments, whatever. Debt service burdens, if you look at the statistics now, is like the lowest ever. Okay? It is really, really low. Interest rates are low. So debt service burdens are very low, not like in 2006, 2007. It was at an all-time record high. That was one of the reasons why we had that, the great financial crash, because the fiscal, was not enough to support the credit structure. But now the credit structure is such where debt service burdens, in other words, the ability to service that debt, is at like the lowest level ever, the easiest. So we can see a nice upturn in bank credit and loans. And, we know that the raising of the debt ceiling, that'll carry us till December 3rd. So I think we're in this period now, this window where, what do we got, 6 weeks or something like that? We could see a significant rally. Plus, it would get towards the holidays. People are going to go out. They're going to shop, right? They're going to shop on their credit cards. They're going to tap into all that bank credit. So now I'm revising my fourth quarter. I think we're stabilizing now at this low. I think the correction in September into early October reflected the slowdown in the fiscal flows. Okay? And now we're stabilizing. As a matter of fact, the flows look like they picked up a little bit. I mean, they're running at about 21.5 billion per day. What's that? That's over 400. It's like 420 billion, 425 billion a month. I mean, that's enough to keep us like around 2.5 GDP growth, something like that. So the 0.5, or maybe even the negative that we might see in the third quarter print was going to freak everybody out. I think that's a one-off. I think fourth quarter will pick back up again. Now, what happens after December 3rd? They're going to have to raise the debt ceiling again, or we're going to be right back in this whole mess. Plus, like I said yesterday, they're going to have to come up with a budget. All right, we still don't have a budget. We're running on a continuing resolution, which runs out on December 3rd. It's crazy, man. It's totally messed up. It's a clown show. But I'm here trying to help you. I got one guy say, I've sold all my stocks. Well, you're an idiot because you sold them at the bottom. You probably didn't sell them in September when I told you to. And so what if you sold them? If it's going back up again, you get back in. Come on. Grow up. Anyway, so that's what I think. Hang on. Got an ambulance outside, man. It's New York City. Hey, come on. All right, so that's what I think. I think third quarter, the market reflected the slowdown. I think we're stabilizing in here. I think we're going to see a pickup. Now, let me just say this. If I don't see a pickup in bank lending, which I'm pretty sure I will see if the reserve drain is happening as I think, and tomorrow's Wednesday, Thursday, we'll get some numbers on reserve balances. If I don't see that pickup in lending, and I don't see why it should not happen. I mean, that was really the only thing constraining the banks at this point, because they were flush with capital, and capital is really the, the criteria that determines, how much banks can lend. It's not reserves, yeah, but in the opposite way that most people think. So, but if we don't see a pickup in lending, then it all comes back to these flows, and we're going to be in this corrective process. And if we don't get a budget, and if we get into this mess again by December 3rd or late November, where, hey, they're not raising the debt ceiling, they're not going to fund the government, there's going to be a shutdown, then, we're going to come into December and January looking pretty bad. But right now I'm optimistic, and I think everything's going to be okay for at least the next 6 weeks, and the market's going to go higher and probably make new highs. All right, that's it for today. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. Bye.